The spiritual journey, in my experience, is not all about going up. It's not all about light. It's not all about like awakening our mind and our soul. It's also about teaching our body and our physical vessel how to negotiate its relationship with power. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, sweet souls. So good to be here with you today as this new year is unfolding and really being willing to explore the deeper aspects of life and ourselves as souls and divine beings, intuitive beings, magical beings, rather than just human beings trying to get by, fighting against life, wishing for something different but not knowing how to get there. So I honor you for being part of the difference, for diving deep into your spiritual journey, into the portal that you are. It truly is a gift for us all. Speaking of gifts, there's a link in the show notes to our program, Unlocking Your Purpose. It's designed to help you really build a foundation so that you can live into your intentions this year. I find that by the end of January, so often everything that we said we're going to do just fizzles. And this is because we're trying to do it through willpower or restriction or overdoing or whatever the thing is, right, that we do. And so what I'm offering is a different way to do it, a way that actually accesses your authenticity, your true creative process. And from this place, you build your intentions. It gives you so much more of a hold and a devotion, right? To be able to carry out what you intend to do. So there's a link in the show notes for this, and use coupon code RITUAL2025 at checkout so that you can access this gift for free. So as for our show today, Jerome is here. He's been struggling with direction on how to live into his purpose. He knows he is here to help others, yet he feels pulled in so many different directions. He's committed to his own healing journey, like so many of us are, and he is working through his childhood trauma, reconnecting with his truth and authenticity after having covered it up for so many years. And what this conversation takes us on a journey through is how overgiving drains your life force energy and makes it hard for you to create and build a life for yourself, right? Because if you're giving it away to everybody else, what's left for you? You need it to create the life that you're intended to live. We dive deep into the idea that those of us as healers, right, that have experienced our own trauma can actually be soothing our wounds by helping others. However, this approach can really hurt our own health, and it's not sustainable. We have to learn to give from a healthy place, or you're just burning your own resources trying to help others to make yourself feel better. And this can get really tricky and really challenging when we are here with these bigger purposes and our life path is about helping others. We have to be so committed to our own journey so that we can really be a clear channel and help others from divine source, right? Rather than from our own source. We also explore how you are not here to fix anyone. You are not responsible for others. You're not responsible for other people or for their karma. And as a healer, right, we're here to be the mirror. We're not here to take the burden, but we're here to hold the space so that others may see themselves. The topic of power also is deeply threaded through this call. And because power in our modern culture has been so distorted that many of us are afraid of power, of collective power, of our own power, of this idea, right? Because it has been corrupted. Yet, true power is everyone's birthright. And when we choose to use it responsibly for the good of us all, this is where true change happens, right? Where we turn towards the power of the earth and the goodness that is inherent in it. And we allow that to move through us so that we can be in service to something that is so powerful and magical that it takes our breath away. We also look at the need for us to learn how to interact with our own energetic body to give it the resources that it needs to thrive. This is a big problem for so many of us. And this is really deeply connected to inner authority and how we can live aligned with our purpose, each other, in the interconnectedness of life so that we can forge a new future for humanity. So take this all in, my love. This is an incredibly powerful reading, and I'm honored to share it with you. Enjoy. Hi, Jerome. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hey Sarah, how's it going? I'm doing good. I'm struggling a lot though. I'm just kind of struggling with direction and especially like along the lines of where my purpose is, where am I meant to serve and in what capacity? Like I just feel pulled in so many directions and distracted and kind of what I've been struggling with is just trying to focus in on where I'm going to be able to help the most and fulfill that role that I'm meant to.
Yeah, thank you. What are some of the places that you are putting your energy into at the moment?
It's been a lot of just like watching YouTube videos that I just feel kind of guided to, a lot of like emotional healing and like tarot card readings, but not necessarily for the tarot. Just there's messages in them that help me kind of understand the traumas that I've gone through in my life. I go to therapy once a week, and working through a lot of childhood trauma. So I guess a lot of my energy has been focusing on that healing and that journey, my journey within myself and discovering or reconnecting with who I am, who I always was, that had been covered up and masked over, just trying to survive the traumas.
Yeah. Are you currently working or pursuing any direction in how you're helping people?
No, I'm unemployed at the moment, but I feel like I'm just led into poverty situations. I meet people in these situations that just need my wisdom or, just that guidance that I can give from my experiences. And so, like, I haven't really focused on trying to make money off of it or anything, but I love doing that. I love having deep conversations with people. And, like, I don't necessarily enjoy the experiencing the struggles that they're going through, but at the same time, I have to experience it in order to be able to feel a connection with them so that they see then too that I'm at that same spot. And help them kind of rediscover their own light.
hmm Yeah. So I'm just tracking your energy field as you're speaking. And so what I see, right, is this beautiful, your third eye, your crown chakra, very lit up and very like wanting more, like just diving deep. And yes, we're on this journey and there's a lot of beautiful light. And when I track down into your root, the energy is really pulling on your kidneys. And the way that I see it, right, our life force energy is very important, right? For you to be able to build a life, to be able to sustain yourself, support yourself, continue on your own healing journey, help other people, you have to have life force. But what's happening right now for you is that you're burning a lot of life force giving to others when you need it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing, right? I mean, you're right. I do tend to put a lot of effort. Like, I tend to drop things to help somebody, like somebody comes to me in need of something. I don't know. I just feel so at peace within myself sometimes, and even the chaos around me that I don't know. I just push and strive to go help another person because I don't want them to have to suffer through what I went through.
Yeah. And that's very, very common in those of us, right, that have had really harsh upbringings, childhood, and traumatic events that have dictated our growth, right, and our evolution from childhood into adulthood. It's going to be important for you to care for yourself first. You're burning too much life force giving to others. And what I can see is there's a part in you, right, that wants to be soothed. And that part in you, when you go and you help somebody else, feels soothed, which is why it feels so good to help another and then alleviate their burden from them, right? Like, oh, I felt this way as a kid and as an adult, and I don't want you to feel that. And so you're taking it from them and you're processing it through your own body. And that's going to create all kinds of health problems for you if you continue to do that. A couple things in that space, right? What's going to be really helpful is for you to unpack the reasons why you are doing that, right? Like why that part of you that needs soothing, it needs your attention and some better tools. You're on the journey, like you're definitely doing it and keep going. The other part of that that could be really helpful when you think about going to alleviate someone else's pain is framing it in this bigger perspective of spiritual and soul expansion of that's their karma, right? You brought up karma before we were recording. And the idea that it's not your responsibility to hold their pain for them, it's their responsibility. You can be a mirror for them, you can be a support for them, but you do not need to fix it, take it, hold it, do anything with it, because that's their soul lesson, their soul karma. And you don't need to interfere with that, right? That's between them and their God, their divine source. What you need is that energy for you. If you're going to get out of this place you're in and you're going to create this beautiful life that you see, you've got all this light, but you need the resources and you can't keep giving them to others.
I mean, I have been focusing on that, trying to take care of me first. I've been working hard on saying no, or just understanding that people try to bring me in. I just let it pass. Like they got to deal with that. But it's hard. It is really hard because I don't like seeing people suffer.
Yeah, I get that. And that's the part in you, right? You also had mentioned people pleasing earlier, and this is still connected to that. It's just a different level, a different layer. It's wearing a different costume.
I'm glad you said that because, like, I guess I didn't expand that concept anymore that people pleasing can be a different level, new devil. And so maybe I did beat the initial, like, physical people pleasing, but now it's on a spiritual level. There's a different kind of people pleasing that I guess I didn't understand at first.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about awareness, right? Like once your eyes are open, you're like, oh, I get it.
Right.
Yeah. And now you can do something with that.
Right, absolutely. I spend a lot of time reflecting in, and trying to be aware of everything and going through my days and thinking, okay, what did I do? What can I do different? And how can I change? How can I be a better version of me tomorrow? And sometimes maybe I just overthink and think too much that I'm missing the simplest things. Because when you were pointing out, my crown chakra and the light there, I love this journey of like discovery. I love learning and I love seeking new knowledge. And I've fallen in love with learning about myself and learning how to go through this whole spiritual awakening, spiritual journey. And so, yeah, I mean, I thrive on that. It feels so amazing and comforting. And maybe I'm striving too much instead of taking time to not think so much.
Well, here's what I see in that for you, right? It's like that is part of your soul, right? Like this desire to learn and to just absorb and to take it all in. Like I wouldn't discount that in yourself. What I see you could get better at and add to is the spiritual journey, in my experience, is not all about going up. It's not all about light. It's not all about like awakening our mind and our soul. It's also about teaching our body and our physical vessel how to negotiate its relationship with power. And power is something that is everybody's birthright, yet it has got so distorted in our modern culture. And I get this sense in you that because of your upbringing, you're afraid of power. You're afraid of what people who have power do, and you don't want to be that. And I get that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. However, right, power is just power, it's neutral. It's what we do with the power, it's the intention, right? So you need power. Everybody needs power in order to run their life. Power, life force, spiritual intention. Those things go together for you to live a life that is correct and true and abundant for you. But what we do is we push the power piece out because we're like, oh, I don't want that. Power's bad. But power is just neutral. So for you, I see this next step in your learning is renegotiating your beliefs about power and the way that your body reacts to power because you're pushing the power away, right? Then you're really like going at it with the spiritual, and then you're burning your life force to help others. And that is really going to have significant consequences on you. You need the power to run the spiritual journey. And then the life force needs to sustain you. And then from the excess, you're going to support others. But you need to get it working correctly inside your body first. And it's very, very common and pretty much all the time, I would say, that when we experience abuse and trauma in our childhood, we want nothing to do with power because this is what created the problems in us in the first place. So you're not alone on this journey. And it is something that you can change and teach your body. And then it's going to balance out this ride that you're on. And you're going to be able to pull yourself out of this place that it's like you're kind of landed in, right? And you're striving to get out of it. But this power dynamic piece is just keeping you anchored in it.
Well, it makes sense. I pushed it away. It's like I pushed an anchor off a boat. And so, yeah, obviously, I mean, it's going to hold me back until I pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were talking about that, like, I was thinking, and like, it just kind of like, so you're talking about like renegotiating the power within my body. Do you think I should focus on like renegotiating how my physical body absorbs it? To start with that and then transition to the mental.
So we have our physical body. that is then surrounded by structured energy, right? A dense body, an energetic body. And then around that, we have our personal space bubble. And then after that, we get into more male, female, human dynamics. But when we're just focusing right now on you, like it's this energetic body that is then informing your physical body. So you are going to be teaching both your energetic body and your physical body how to interact with power. So it's more like actual pieces of broken energy. Doesn't have a spiritual component to it, right? Because spiritual is once we get like more into the upper self and the soul and the higher self and all of those things, this is where spirit and intention live. And those are designed to then interact with this dense energetic body to then bring your life into fruition in the physical world. So when that dense energetic body is broken's a harsh word, right? Like we're all whole, complete, and deserving. It's not broken in that sense of like, but the energetic body, it does get broken, like a glass getting broken. And so we get to repair it. And then it can hold this higher information.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I mean, you're right. I mean, I have been afraid of power. And like you said, it's because I don't want to be that person that I've experienced so many other people and watch so many people that come into power. They all change and then start abusing it. At that same time, though, I know within myself that I know my integrity and I know that I wouldn't do that because I know how much I honor the integrity of respecting that power. So it's like a dual dynamic going on, like it's like I'm pulling myself in two different directions, almost like dual thinking.
Yeah. So what it is just retraining yourself, right? To be like, hey, I know that I am not going to do that. I know I'm here for a greater good. I know that I'm here to use power in a way that supports humanity, right? It's not about you having power. It's about you as a human using power to make the world better for all of us. Like it's a we conversation. When power gets distorted is when it becomes an I conversation. Like I, Sarah, am powerful and important. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm one of 8 billion people. But when I think about it in the concept, right, of like I, me, we, Sarah, and you together with every other human on the planet deserve to have power to make it a better place for us all, then we actually are stepping into something that's much more aligned. And there's way less chance of you abusing anything in that place because I'm you and you're me.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, like you said, like I've been looking at power wrong and like I've been looking at it in like the I aspect and not the we. Not like in a bad way looking, I guess, in a misguided way. Like you said, I want the power so that I can help, but then my brain goes off into the split dynamic again because I know that power is meant to help other people. But at the same time, it's helping me. This is where my brain just keeps getting, that's why I'm stuck in where I'm at because it's like one wheel starts turning and then it starts cranking all the other gears and I get distracted and sidetracked. And I was like, forget it. It's just too much. I can't go off in 15, 20 different directions. Time to change subject and go somewhere else. And I think that's also been something I've been struggling with. Seeing that now, looking at it like that now and understanding it, it'll help me be able to start focusing more and understanding that that's how I'm operating.
Yeah. And maybe like using your distraction or this pattern of too many things happening as actually a tool when your mind is like, hey, look over here, instead of thinking of it as like something that you have to follow. Maybe it could be like, well, what is my body trying to tell me about my beliefs about this? What does my body need power out of this? How is this an energetic sentence that needs answering as opposed to something that you have to go and follow? Like use it as a map to reconstruct yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never thought about looking at it like that because I'm always eager to learn. So I'm thinking, well, maybe that's just me, spirit having me take a break from it. But you're right. I guess if I start looking and asking questions instead of just jumping to that, to follow that, just take a minute to stop and reflect on it more often.
Yeah, the word that's coming in is inner authority, right? Like, who are you? Like, you are the captain of your ship. You are the inner authority of your being, of your soul, of your spiritual journey. And how can you stay rooted in that as opposed to like letting things drag you away from that, but using that center console, right? Like that structure in the center of your being to then discern from there and bring it to you as opposed to constantly going out and giving it your authority, right?
Right. That makes sense. Thank you so much. I mean, it's definitely been really enlightening to me. That's why I love talking with people because it gives you a different perspective. I'm so used to being a loner, being by myself because of my depth of my thoughts. Most people can't even like, I don't know if they can't or they don't want to or they're afraid to. It's just like, it's hard to connect with people on that kind of a level nowadays. So it's like, I'm just stuck thinking by myself. And my therapist is about the only other person besides you now that I've spoken to and understands that process.
Yeah. Well, we're very counterculture, right? Like, this is not making the headlines of the newspaper, but it is, to me, more the truth of the world we live in.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I don't like the whole superficial. It just doesn't resonate right with my soul. But like all this occult stuff that I've kind of like gone down the rabbit hole into over the last 4 years feels right within my soul. It just resonates right. And I hope that more people start to be able to experience that, because I think that's what's going to change the world. We need that. And we're in a world that's so selfish. It seems like it'll never change. But I think the more of us that dive deep into this stuff and generationally, it's going to start changing. I mean, all of this wisdom that I've learned is going to be shared with whoever needs it. And then, my kids. And like, I just can't wait for the day that we have a world full of peace and love instead of war and hate.
Yeah. Things need to change. And they are, right? They are in a wild and unpredictable way. And in earthly clock time, great change like this doesn't happen quickly. It does happen over longer periods of time. And yet, we as souls chose to be here for this. I think, as if we're just here with a human perspective, it can feel extremely confusing right now. Yet, for those of us that are willing to take it to that next level, to put it into a spiritual conversation, and to recognize that this is a pivotal point in our soul evolution of the planet, then there's a lot more that we can grasp from that. We can, I don't know, learn more, be with it more, make a difference more, right? On this level of we're souls.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And then like bring back to the forefront that exact understanding, bring it back because it's been suppressed and hidden intentionally, I feel, for so long because the elite, the powers that be or whatever, they wanted to control by fear because they were afraid that if people realized and learned how powerful they were individually by not being selfish and connecting to that spiritual self, there's no way they can be controlled by somebody else.
Right. And this is where that we conversation comes back in, right? We have to be empowered together in order to make something happen, to make something change. And this is what I see a lot of us are attempting to do. So thank you for being part of that journey.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for this. It's been a blessing, and I'm so grateful that spirit and the universe have led me to this. It's what I needed, and I can already feel the shift to the next level, to the next step. And I have an understanding of how I need to approach things now that I was trying so hard to figure out how to before, where I was actually stuck. And so thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
No problem.